What's going on, guys? It's Clutch Hoops here, and today we're going to be talking about the 6 best international draft prospects and ranking them 1 to 6. There is so much coverage on all the top college draft prospects, but some of the international prospects don't get the attention that they deserve. This class of international players is by far better than last year's, as we will see at least 4 of these players go in the draft lottery. The crazy thing about this though is that all 6 of these prospects could be taken in the draft lottery, depending on if teams draft based off of talent or team need. International players are usually more NBA ready since they have already played basketball professionally before, which will help them adapt better to the NBA. Now I know there may be a bit of controversy over what an international draft prospect is, but for the sake of this video, an international draft prospect is a player who played somewhere other than the USA this past season. So with that out of the way, let's get right into the top 6 international 2020 NBA draft prospects. Number 1, Lamell Ball. Even though he has lived in the USA his entire life, he did play professionally in Australia this past season. He's by far the most talented player in the entire draft class, as he has elite length and size for a point guard at 6'7". The best part about his game by far is his passing, as he's one of the best passers we have ever seen coming into the NBA draft. He has incredible court vision, continually looks off defenders, can make every single pass possible, and he is so creative. His shot does look promising, and even though he shot the 3 ball at 25% and 37% from the field in Australia, it should translate relatively well to the NBA. He will come into the NBA as an elite passer, but there are still some concerns about his shot selection, defensive intensity, and lack of elite athleticism. The huge swing factor about his game is his shooting, so if he can keep defenders honest in the pick and roll game, then he will be deadly. Number 2, Killian Hayes. Killian Hayes is one of the more underrated draft prospects in my opinion, as he has the potential to be a franchise-changing player. The 6'5" French point guard, who is currently playing in Germany, has one of the best offensive games in the entire draft. He excels in the pick and roll game and will make every single right read when facilitating with his left hand. He's shown that he can shoot, use his size to make any pass, and see the floor very well. His main weakness is the fact that he settles for pull-up shots and refuses to attack the rim when driving with his right hand. He is able to get to the rim when attacking with his right hand though, but will almost freeze and settle for short, really tough jump shots. He only shoots about 2.5 free throws per game, but as he gains more confidence facilitating with his right hand, this number should increase. Obviously this, along with a few other minor weaknesses, will take some time to fix in the NBA, which is one of the reasons he's one of the biggest projects in the entire draft. Killian is still 18 years old, but since his game is already this advanced offensively at such a young age, it shows some serious potential. He's beginning to rise on draft boards, and since the NBA is beginning to transition to a more guard-dominated league, Killian Hayes will be a coveted draft prospect. Number 3, Deni Avdija. Some people will think this ranking is too low, but this is solely because of how great a prospect Killian is. Deni is a 6'9" small forward who plays best with the ball in his hands, facilitating for the players around him. He's playing in one of the hardest international leagues, if not the hardest, in Israel. He wasn't slated to have much of a role, but due to his shooting and defensive improvements, he has carved out routine minutes. He only averages 8 points, 4 rebounds, and 2 assists in 20 minutes per game, but more importantly, he has shown that he can play off the ball. He has been a ball-dominant player his entire life, but in Israel, he has shown that he can be a good player without the ball and can move and do all that other stuff that you want to see for players like him. His shot will translate to the next level, and he looks to be one of the most bust-resistant prospects. With his 6'9", 215-pound frame for a 19-year-old, he resembles a bit of Danilo Gallinari, and there are some parts of his game that are very similar to Luka Doncic. Number 4, RJ Hampton. Australia has not been the easiest for RJ Hampton, as he has averaged 9 points, 4 rebounds, and 2 assists on 40% from the field in 20 minutes per game. These aren't the best stats, but he only played in 15 games and wasn't in the best situation with the Breakers. He's a 6'5", 190-pound guard and still one of the younger prospects, as he just turned 19 years old, so he has a lot of room to grow and get stronger. He's very athletic and uses his first step really well to get by defenders with ease. He has a great Euro step that he uses around the rim, and once he puts on more weight, he will be a great finisher in the NBA. He has shown potential to be a great shooter in the NBA as well, but only shot 30% from 3 and 68% from the free throw line in Australia. His mid-range shot is already very good, but that's kind of irrelevant in the NBA nowadays. He's a very good scorer off the dribble and has all the physical tools needed to be a great playmaker in the NBA. My favorite part about his game by far is the potential he has on the defensive side of the ball because of his 6'5" growing frame and very quick feet. He closes out very quickly, alters shots with his long wingspan, has a knack for the ball as seen by steals and blocks, and most importantly, he recovers very quickly when he gets beat. RJ's defensive fundamentals are very poor, and he will need to improve on these areas to be an elite defender. RJ also does have an elite skill coming into the NBA, which is very scary for a player slated to be taken in the lottery. Number 5. Aleksej Pokusevski. The 7-foot power forward with a 7'3" wingspan is one of the most enticing prospects in the entire NBA draft. When you see an international 7-footer who can shoot threes and drive to the basket, he immediately gets compared to Kristaps Porzingis and Lauri Markkanen. Alex just turned 18 years old and is currently averaging 10 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, and 2 blocks in 21 minutes per game for the Olympiacos B team. There's no question that Alec is one of the biggest projects in the entire draft, but teams are continually looking for the next Giannis, Kristaps, and Jokic. Alec is not playing against quality competition with the Olympiacos B team, which makes people hesitant if he will be able to translate his game to the NBA. He has been on the rise recently as his 3-point shot looks to translate to the NBA at 37%, so he has serious potential to go in the lottery. Number 6. Theo Mann. Theo is a 6'4" French point guard averaging 7 points and 3 assists in 17 minutes per game for Asvel. The more important statistics are that he's shooting 34% from 3-point range and 75% from the free throw line. His shot looks like it will translate to the NBA as his release off the dribble is quick with a very high release. On top of this, he gets to the rim easily in France, but he does need to gain strength to be able to finish in traffic better. He plays with great intensity on both sides of the ball and puts a lot of effort in stopping his man on the defensive side of the ball. However, he doesn't have the best athleticism that will hinder his playmaking in the NBA. Also, he is very foul prone as he averages 5.6 fouls per 36 minutes, and he is way too passive. These things are fixable, but due to his below average athleticism, his ceiling is not too high. His game resembles a bit of Shai Gilgeous-Alexander with his shooting ability and defense, but he also resembles a bit of the fellow French point guard Frank Ntilikina with his passiveness and defensive intensity. Tell me what you guys thought about this list and if you think anyone should be higher or lower. Also, do you think that there's anyone that was left off of this list as well? I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, make sure you like and subscribe. Now with that said, I'm out and peace!